Hey everybody, what is going on? I am Maximus Rex and this is Big Baby Reviews. Today is Thursday, so it is Rob Liefeld Day. We are looking at the next issue in his X-Force run from the early 90s, namely issue number 8, cover dated March 1992. This is a very infamous issue from my youth, and for many other reasons that we found out about later with the advent of the internet and, behind the scenes kind of information that now you can get from many industries, whether it's, Hollywood, comic books, entertainment, anything like that. Lots more to look at than there was before, right? You're into special effects, man, there's tons of behind the scenes stuff to look at that. I'm not specifically into special effects per se, but I do still enjoy those kind of things and do watch them from time to time, right? So I'm sure you do too. And why is this issue infamous? Well, as a kid, if you read this, you know why. And if you didn't, I'll give you just kind of a quick overview of what this issue is. So imagine as a kid, so it's 1992, I'm about 11, I buy this issue because I've been collecting X-Force, right? I'm collecting Jim Lee's X-Men, I'm collecting, at this point, Tom McFarlane's not doing Spider-Man anymore, but I'm collecting, pretty sure I got some Eric Larson Spider-Man stuff. What else am I buying here? It's that kind of stuff. So I'm buying Rob Liefeld X-Force, and I'm buying X-Force because of Rob Liefeld. So I buy this issue, see the cover, yes, awesome, super cool. Your typical kind of Rob Liefeld team shot, some characters we recognize, Cable, Domino, Kane from issue 2, right, Weapon X, don't know this guy really. And you got to assume, these guys have a past. So is that GW Bridge, a younger version of him when he was on the team with Cable, right? Because now they're kind of at odds within the storyline, but we know at some point they were working together. And of course, if you're curious at all and notice stuff, turning point, Cable, past, present, and future. So you're assuming we're going to move into the future and the past and the present and stuff, right? Covers kind of, cueing you into that. And, everything is right in the world. Rob Liefeld doing some X-Force. So you open it up, and of course, you got some Rob Liefeld pages here, right? And I'm not reading the credits at this point because I know it's Rob Liefeld. I know who's doing the stuff. I don't need to read this box, right? You don't read it every time. And this is obviously just a quick continuation from what's happened last issue, where Sauron has stabbed Cannonball in the gut, right? And of course, we've got Cable and Boom Boom reacting. And boom! As an 11-year-old, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Why is the art look so different all of a sudden? And I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh my god, this is nothing like Rob Liefeld. And I am not enjoying it. Not at all. And it looks familiar to me. So now I do go look at the credits and I see the name Mike Mignola, guest penciler, Bob Wyasek, guest inker, right? And I just am not having it and did not enjoy the style of art at all back in the day. So, Now, flash forward years and years later, basically 30 years later, and as an older adult now, I've learned to 100% appreciate Mike Mignola. It didn't take me that long, to be honest. A few years after, my initial kind of interaction with this issue, I was able to, look back and understand and realize the greatness of Mike Mignola. But it was very jarring, obviously, back in the day to, expect some Rob Liefeld stuff and turn the page and see this kind of artwork. Today, I love the stuff, right? And this issue I think is great. And I know it's Rob Liefeld Day, but I will review it real quick and talk about it because these are still Rob Liefeld layouts. And it's kind of interesting because, again, it's Mike Mignola penciling on top of Rob Liefeld's layouts. So there's things that you wouldn't usually see maybe Mike Mignola doing or that Mike Mignola does less of now in the way that his style has evolved, right? So it's just, yeah, it's interesting. It's very cool. If you have a keen eye, you can definitely spot the Rob Liefeld basic layouts. So now that we have all the backstory that I'll tell you before I kind of go through the art and stuff in this issue. So what we know now is that Mike Mignola did this issue and he was promised he was able to do the cover by the editor, but then it was changed and Rob Liefeld did the cover and the editor was, basically disrespectful to him, telling like, I guess that he didn't care about him and he wasn't important as the artist or whatever. So that's the point where Mike Mignola decided to go work for Dark Horse Comics. And it's unfortunate because, it's fortunate for him and I'm glad he did and he created Hellboy and it went really well for him. So yeah, I'm certainly not going to wish that he did anything else. That's the path for him for sure, and I'm sure he's glad that he followed that path. But what we missed out on is this super awesome, and there's one or two pinups you can check out on the internet, once again on Google Images or whatever, wherever you want to do your research, of a X-Men Fantastic Four kind of crossover where it's by Mike Mignola, and all the characters seem a bit kind of Rob Liefeldified or something. They've got, you know, the pouches and big guns and stuff, so really cool image. I love it also because they're all you know, Wolverine and the Thing are smoking cigars still, which, as you know, I've mentioned 100 times before, I love. And because of this whole situation with this editor here, that never happened. That's, as I said, why Mike Mignola left Marvel and went to work for Dark Horse, which, again, worked out well in the end for him, for sure. Also, a funny kind of anecdote about this, Mike Mignola has said, I forget where I saw this, but, you know, he's like, he got the layouts, and he's asking Rob Liefeld, like, where do these take place? And Rob Liefeld basically said, well, I don't know. So it was up to Mike Mignola to kind of come up with a setting. So I guess all the backgrounds are pretty much down to him. Again, if you imagine these pages without any backgrounds, they're basically Rob Liefeld layouts, right? You'll probably be even easier to spot. Yeah, there's something about the way he poses characters, and that shines through even Mike Mignola stuff. And I mean, it's just fun to see that mix. Again, you're getting shots occasionally that I don't feel like Mike Mignola does much of. Right, the angles and stuff. And, you know, I don't know, again, like all the characters have open mouths and teeth showing and stuff, so I you know, it's a bit of a rib towards Rob Liefeld, maybe. I mean, you gotta wonder how much Liefeld had actually drawn here, but it works out really well. Also, yeah, I mean, I gotta think that Mignola is helping him out a little bit on the backgrounds, and probably on something like this as well. But it's great melding again of both styles, I think. Yeah, this is something I don't think I see Mignola do a lot, like down shots, and, you know, he doesn't play with perspective that much anymore. I mean, he did back in the day on this Cosmic Odyssey stuff and whatever, but yeah. And eventually I figured out too that he was the guy who did the cover for Death in the Family, right? That classic shot of Robin kind of laying down with a bit of blood and pretty much implied that he's dead, right? Same artist. So it's definitely, again, you've definitely got the Rob Liefeld kind of staging of scenes, right? But Mike Mignola, he does something. I mean, the stairs and stuff, I'm sure that's more him. Some of the stuff maybe in the foreground. You'd have to look over again those original Rob Liefeld layouts that he put out. But as a kid, there was something so different with the style compared to what I was used to, which with the guys who were in just a few months going to be the image guys, right? And the image style kind of be defined as that. That it didn't compute. It just I didn't want to put it on the same level. I guess I just, you know, your young brain, you're, you know, being exposed to stuff. And the first stuff you kind of see that's exciting is what you really like, you know. But as you get deeper into not just reading them, but drawing and stuff, and appreciating draftsmanship, and, you know, different interpretations of reality and different use of shadows and texture and all that, you really do come back to this issue and appreciate it. And for what Mike Mignola does, again, with the bare bones of what Liefeld's given him, it's just kind of become a classic kind of historic issue in spite of itself. Even the colorist, I don't think is the regular colorist. I could be wrong. I didn't check the credits, right? We talked about it real quick, but I'll have a look. Steve Bucalato, dressed colorist. I guess it is. He did some colors for Mike Mignola before. The way he does the colors here, I mean, he's done it before and after, I guess, because for a reason, because it looks really good. You know, the fairly flat coloring, there's some modulation here and there, but the fairly flat coloring really works. Oh, he's got the interesting kind of textures to this chair here that he does. It's almost slightly Kirby-ish. Like, he adds just so much mood you know, to whatever Liefeld was laying down for sure. Like all the shading and stuff. Obviously shading is such a Mike Mignola trademark. And boom, back to some Liefeld pages. And again, I've talked before about him using assistants and stuff. I feel like this page here, possibly laid out by him, but finished off by like Murat Michaels for sure. I'm sticking to that. Some sort of pin up here that wasn't used anywhere else, so you threw it in here. Those quick ones where Rob Liefeld draws those big thighs and those chicken calves. Classic. I mean, I like it. You know, whatever you think of it and the level of, you know, precision or not, or, you know, weird anatomy or whatever. There's just something fun and exciting about that shot there. And I mean, what is it? It's Cable with guns and knives, you know, ablazing on his back too, in a graveyard for no reason. Is he just yelling at someone, or is he just alone yelling in the graveyard? Interesting. Pouches around the arm, that makes sense, around the thigh. These pouches all of a sudden just kind of stop there, right? So not quite sure exactly how that's holding down and keeping these guns in the right place, but you know, logic be damned. It's a cool Rob Liefeld pinup. And we get 2 in this issue for the price of 1. Very cool. Once again, those big thighs doing the variations too. I guess this is Rob Liefeld's chance to get out all the kind of variant designs he's got for Cable before he leaves. It's something, again, the proportion stuff is off, but like there's something cool to the rendering that makes up for any lack of anatomy or proportion. You know, I don't want to say realistic proportions, but at least working proportions, however you want to talk about that. And that is it, I guess, for this issue. So the iconic, the illustrious, the infamous X-Force issue 8, drawn by Mike Mignola. You have any thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Any questions or little tidbits about this issue, let me know there as well. Thank you for everyone who's subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. If you're watching the videos but have not subscribed yet, please do so below. It's really easy for you and really helps out the channel, helps get us out there to other like-minded people who are into the same kind of stuff that you and I are. So thank you everyone out there for watching, and have an awesome day.
Like, subscribe, like, subscribe.
King Comics presents Big Baby, Volume 1, Issues 1 to 13, 204 pages of story and art. King Comics also presents Star Crasher one-shot, 32 pages, cosmic sci-fi surrealist adventure. You can find these fine comics at kingcomics.ca, at MaximusRex13 on Instagram, or on Facebook, MaxRex or Big Baby.